We can talk about that.
Wonderful. Perhaps even, invite Helena?
Helena? Velvet isn't accustomed to being flustered and caught off guard. Have a wonderful evening.
You too,
I hope everything goes beautifully for you.
What would it take to get as much detail as possible on them?
A fashion show. Miss Griffith will be the audience for a fashion show to be provided by my clan.
It's a steep price, Mr. Colden. Are we done with this bullshit?
Again, profanity. What exactly do you want, Nelly?
I reach in and grab my knife, and I use Blink to hold the knife up to his throat. Sweetheart, as a grown-ass woman, you need to cry as a river, build a bridge, and get over it now.
I told you not to kill him!
It wasn't me. Sorry! I lost control, okay? Victor, I don't want to see that face. I don't want to hear the words right now. I'm dealing with a lot of shit right now, okay? So this is how I seal a deal. Drink it.
Oh, fuck.
Just a little taste. Annabelle, I did something that Kindred isn't allowed to do in the Camarilla. It's called diablerie. I took everything from Donna.
A Rose with Thorns, Thespian Spy, Blue Baron of Hollywood, Diablerist. All these and more can describe the character we'll be discussing today. Hello, 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 and welcome back, family, to Masquerade Monday. This is the fourth in a series of videos where I'll be doing in-depth profiles of the characters of LA by Night. You all have spoken, and the next video you wanted to see was about the Coterie's mompire, Nelli G. So Kindred, let's dive in. Where Victor is gregarious, Annabelle passionate, and Jasper blunt, Nelly is that smile in the dark, the honeyed words whispered in your ear as a knife slides into your ribs. Like all of the Coterie members, we know very little about Nelly's past as a mortal or a kindred, but we do know some things. Nelly was born Petronella Griffith, a descendant or at the very least a relation of Griffith J. Griffith, the famous industrialist. Nelly gained some modicum of fame as a young woman, working as a model and a dancer with a promising career in her future. But at some point, she crossed paths with a toreador named Chaz Price. Using both his preternatural and mundane powers of charm and persuasion, he convinced Nelly that he loved her, embraced her, and whisked her off to the Camarilla court in San Francisco. Details about Nelly's unlife in the Ivory Tower is unknown, but soon she recognized the relationship with her sire to be what it was: abusive, manipulative, and a lie, as Chaz decided to take another child, a woman named Donna, and told her all the same things Nelly heard as a fledgling and as a mortal. Nelly resolved to run from Chaz to the anarch-controlled region of Los Angeles, but as she was fleeing, Donna tried to either stop her and bring her back or inflict final death on Nelly. Nelly, likely spurned by her beast, attacked Donna with fang and fury, drinking until Nelly had consumed all of her, even Donna's soul. At some point after this encounter, Nelly came into contact with the Baron of Hollywood, Isaac Abrams, and not only was she granted domain in his barony, Nelly also became directly employed by Abrams as somewhat of a thespian spy. She accompanied the Baron on missions, including one to Italy. The details of this mission are unknown, but it involved the La Sombra in some capacity. Through Isaac Abrams, and to further her efficacy in missions, Nelly somehow learned blood sorcery. During this time, Nelly also established a popular clothing line and store chain called Thorn, and met a venture named Victor Temple, with whom she established a coterie along with a Nosferatu named Jasper. When the coterie came across a young woman feeding without permission in their shared domain of Griffith College, the coterie is tasked with bringing her to a Tremere named Eva living in Griffith Park, in order to learn which clan and generation she belonged to. But for Nelly, however, a ghost is waiting for her. A young aristocrat in 19th century Spanish-style garb holds her hand out to Nelly, and for a moment, Nelly acquiesces, causing the coterie who cannot see the ghost to question her actions.
You see something out of the corner of your eye, deeper into the park. As you turn to look, you see a white, shining, gossamer-like shape, vaguely like a person. Maybe wearing a dress, a long dress. It's not really quite there, though, and you find yourself completely absorbed in this apparition to the point where you forget your friends, your colleagues, your associates, and begin to move toward it.
But that all had to wait, since soon a blast from a much more recent past would come into Nelly's life, namely her sire Chaz, someone she had not seen since fleeing several years earlier. Chaz lets Nelly know, under no uncertain terms, that he knows that she diablerized his child Donna, and promises to keep this information to himself in exchange for her assistance in bringing her coterie to the side of the Camarilla, which is slowly claiming portions of LA under their domain. Nelly, fearful for her coterie to find out about her sin, begrudgingly agrees, although she doesn't go out of her way to paint the ivory tower in a positive light.
Ah, yes.
So what is it that you want, Chaz?
To talk. It's been a while since we talked.
Yeah, last time we talked, you shoved me away.
And what did you do in response?
I left.
You left. You left something in your wake as well, didn't you, Nelly?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Chaz.
No idea.
Not
You
a
just
clue.
wiped the slate clean then. Your
Of course.
memories, no regrets, eh? I suppose that must be nice. Pity that option isn't available to poor, dear Donna.
She sent her regards.
Did she? That's a good trick. Did she send them via Ouija board?
Why would you want to know?
I already know, Nelly. I'm quite aware of what happened.
So then why are you asking?
You're rather flip, Nelly, considering the severity of your crime. Not only against me, your sire, but against your kind. I wonder if your new friends would be eager to associate with you if they knew the true extent of your actions. Actions which I am fully aware of. Don't worry. It can be our little secret.
Eventually, the coterie finds themselves face to face with a pair of hunters who followed them to Le Chat Noir, a club run by the Ministry in the valley. The coterie apprehends them, but the club is firebombed, and although the kindred make it out fairly unscathed, the Second Inquisition agents are presumed dead. The final living member of their team, and likely the one who firebombed the club once they believed the other hunters were compromised, was a man named Greg Demetrios. Greg was alone, working outside of the permission of his FBI employers, and was fearful for his life from the blank bodies he and his team had been hunting. Playing his odds, Greg deems Nelly to be his safest bet, and comes to her asking for a type of immunity deal. She keeps him safe from her vampire companions, and he will supply her with information he has gathered during his time in LA. Nelly takes his deal, but Blood binds him first as her ghoul, and gives him the codename Daffodil.
Good, actually. It's not bitter at all. It's sweet. Like, not unlike honey. In fact, maybe better than honey. Not at all what you were expecting.
Oh, okay. Oh, fuck. What's gonna happen now? Am I gonna...
You don't have long to wait. When you look at Nelly, you can see that, maybe you were a little wrong to be hesitant about this bargain. This idea may be the best idea you've ever had. She's gonna help you. She's okay. You feel like maybe in time you could be friends.
All right.
Nelly, knowing that working with agents of the Second Inquisition would put her and her coterie in serious danger, decides to keep this information to herself. But there's always work to be done, as the coterie braves the wilds of Griffith Park once again to meet Eva, who offers a boon to Victor, the new Baron of the Valley. When they arrive, Nelly once again sees her doppelganger ghost, and Eva, who also possesses preternatural senses, informs her that the ghost's name is Petronella.
Eva's not alone. There's a white, shimmering figure standing just a few paces behind her, just beyond her left shoulder. This figure is one that you have seen several times before. And this figure, this ghostly, gossamer white young woman, is looking at you.
Eva, can you speak to ghosts?
Eva glances over her shoulder at where the figure is standing. Of course I can.
Have you spoken to her before?
To Petronella. Many times.
Nelly realizes that not only does this ghost look like her, they share the same name. This realization has to wait as another ghost comes into view. This one is Antonio, and he is no mere wraith, as Petronella is. Rather, he is a specter, a shadow-eaten. Nelly watches as he makes his way to Parnell, Victor's driver, and employs the arcanoi puppetry to possess the unsuspecting ghoul. Now, if this terminology is unfamiliar to you, I encourage you to check out my series on Wraith the Oblivion, which you can watch here or follow the link in the description. After Antonio shoots Nelly with a rifle at point-blank range, Parnell is knocked unconscious by Jasper. The Coterie return to the club, obviously shaken by the whole event. Nelly, needing to both mend her damage and feed, loses control and kills one of Victor's security team, much to Victor's anger at yet another mess he must clean up.
I don't think I'm gonna stop. I put his hands down. I'm gonna start drinking more.
Gonna return your fangs to his neck. Mm-hmm. Hold his hands down. Mm-hmm. And drink your fill. Mm-hmm. All of it. Mm-hmm. Every last drop. Mm-hmm. Every delicious, satisfying mouthful. Mm-hmm. It's better than champagne. It's better than wine. It's better than water to a woman dying of thirst in the desert. There is nothing better than this. And it's all yours. Mm-hmm. All belongs to you. Mm. In a few moments, he's gone. His eyes flutter shut. His pulse stops. He doesn't breathe. He doesn't blink. You've killed him. I'm going to take away your hunger. Or we're going to stain your humanity.
Sorry.
The haunting is not over, however, and Petronella appears in Victor's office. We learn that the ghost's full name is Petronella Feliz, that she was the heiress to the property that is now known as Griffith Park. Petronella claims that what was owed to her was stolen, likely by her uncle Antonio, and she cannot pass on until this is resolved, or as a wraith would say, until she has settled her fetter. We also learned that although Nelly is a Griffith, she is also a descendant of Petronella.
Twist here that I'm not quite understanding because I've always just been told that I'm just Griffith.
She referred to you as her blood.
Look at us, my heart. Look at us.
You do look a lot.
Family names do change.
Especially with
I can feel you. We are blood.
Yep, we certainly are.
She warns that Antonio wants the maze, referring to the labyrinth underneath Griffith Park, and he will not rest until he has it. What he wants and why he wants it is, as of the recording of this video, unclear. Before Nelly can really do anything to help Petronella or assuage Antonio, Antonio forces Petronella to assist him in kidnapping Nelly's sister Isabel, and tells her to come to an old church located on what was once Felice land. Nelly decides to go alone, not telling her coterie of this, and brings her new ghoul Greg with her. Nelly is attacked almost immediately, and as Antonio brings down bits of the roof, she becomes staked on a sharpened beam. Now immobile, Nelly is powerless to stop her ghostly ancestors from taking Isabel to a hacienda further into Griffith Park. Greg watches over Nelly, trying to dig her out and keep her safe from the sun for 3 days, until he decides to go to Nelly's coterie for help, fearful she will die without them.
So, you kneel down, slide your arms under her body. It's so strange because it's a little bit like trying to shift a beautiful broken mannequin. She's so immobile. The sound the wood makes as it scrapes against bone and flesh is awful. You don't like the sound of it, and you'd be happy never to hear it again.
I'm sorry. We're almost there.
The instant that the wood leaves her body and she's in your arms. Her eyes blink, her mouth twitches, and she can move.
And although they come to her rescue, the Coterie is fed up with her lies and deceptions. Nelly's trial by Coterie has to be put on hold as an unexpected guest arrives, Chaz Price in his official capacity as Prince Vanavar's herald, to announce the official declaring of praxis. When he departs again, the Coterie all confront Nelly about her silence toward her sire, how she was fiery and combative with her Coterie mates but rolls over like a purring kitten for Chaz. Finally, Nelly admits her greatest secret to the Coterie and reveals that Chaz is holding it over her head.
I was a different person before I met you, Victor.
Yeah, you know what? You guys saw where I live, and you saw what I do. And you're all still wanting to be my friend.
You swear you have my back on anything? I killed one of our kind.
So what? So did I.
Yeah, we all have.
I took everything of hers. Everything.
Wait, like you robbed somebody? Like, I don't know.
No, she didn't.
Her voice is sometimes I can hear that.
To Nelly's surprise, no one casts her out of the group or chastises her for her past, and they agree to move forward without secrets. Of course, deception lies in the heart of all kindred, and deep down, all of them know that none of them can be fully trusted. With the ire of her coterie abated, they band together along with Eva and Kyoko, a tremere of the Weird Sisters coterie, to rescue Isabel from Antonio and Petronella. With the help of blood magic and a Benedante dagger, an artifact fashioned in the Shadowlands, the land of the wraiths, and bound to an object in the Skinlands, the land of the living, Antonio takes enough damage that he dissipates, and before the hacienda falls down upon them, the Valley coterie is able to rescue Isabel. Victor does notice that the wraiths were digging on the ground floor, uncovering an old box of some kind, but he could not extract it nor examine it before the building began to collapse. With her mortal family brought to safety and her ghostly ancestors momentarily dealt with, Nelly must now turn her attention to her fellow undead as the coterie, minus Annabelle, attends Elysium at the famous Getty Center in order to meet Prince Vanavar and his court. Soon and unsurprisingly, Nelly realizes Chaz Price is there, and Suzanne, the prince's seneschal and paramour, takes note, whisking Nelly out to the gardens. There, Suzanne uses her considerable powers of emotional control to cause Nelly to fall instantly in love with her.
I use my emotional control and cast instant love.
You experience what can only be described as an overwhelming wave of passionate love for Suzanne. It washes over you, calm and inviting. The power of the attraction is irresistible. There is a flicker, a moment, and then you feel the compulsion.
Have you ever stood under the stars and just stared at them and just watched them fade away?
Yes.
It's exactly how exhilarating love feels. It's absolutely just adoring.
Yes.
I grab her face and start nuzzling my nose up against her skin.
And although Nelly is immediately under Suzanne's power, she still has the wherewithal to use her own abilities to make Suzanne feel love for Nelly. As it becomes increasingly apparent that Suzanne is attempting to keep Nelly at court, Jasper and Victor, with the unintentional aid of the menacing Maximilian Strauss, are just barely able to tear her away from her new love. Now that she is away from the powerful elder, Nelly is able to focus on her new goal of ridding herself of Chaz once and for all. It is unclear how she came to the coterie with this solution, or ultimately why they agreed to this arguably dangerous endeavor, but they all decided that destroying Chaz was necessary, perhaps due to Nelly's status as a Diablerist. After an action-packed battle and a few close calls, Nelly manages to drive a stake into his heart.
Might I get out a word as
this wooden stake is making its way into your heart? Of course.
Well done, darling.
With the encouragement from her coterie, Nelly cuts the head off of her sire and her abuser and takes his only surviving ghoul into her care, codenaming her Lavender. Nelly then turns her attention to unfinished business. She corrects the legalities of Petronella's inheritance and reclaims a key for the labyrinth, which was what Antonio and Petronella were excavating at the hacienda. This key happens to be connected to the mirror of the labyrinth, but more on that in Jasper's video, which you can watch here. As Victor strikes a détente to stop the escalation between the fighting Camarilla and Anarch factions, Nelly continues clandestine meetings with Suzanne, and as of the recording of this video, it is unknown whether the feelings are real or just another employment of Nelly's espionage tactics. Life is never dull, however, as Nelly finds herself in a position of power as the new Baron of Hollywood. Isaac Abrams has succumbed to the call of the beckoning, a phenomenon amongst kindred wherein they are compelled to travel east for reasons unknown.
I'm leaving. It's time to go.
Wait. No, don't get me wrong. But when are you gonna be back? Like, it's kind of a busy time right now.
Victor,
I don't
shut
know.
up.
I'm sorry, Victor. I can't. It's too strong. Yeah, I can't fight it any longer. I don't know why me. I don't know why me and not others who are older, more powerful. I don't know. Help her.
Although Nelly has wanted this power for a long time, she is faced with challenges from her fellow barons and the kindred of her domain, who do not believe she can fill the shoes of her predecessor. Will Nelly ascend as a leader? Will her relationships with the enemy, namely the Camarilla and former Second Inquisition, be a boon or a downfall? Can she maintain the balance in her coterie, or will she choose her barony over her family? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and tell me your favorite Nelli G moments in LA by Night. I make videos multiple times a week, and every Monday is either Masquerade or Mage Monday, so if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to my channel. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!